There are many intricacies and details in Iranian or Persian communication. The official language of the country is Farsi. As such, most people in Iran speak Farsi, and many even speak English or some other secondary language. Their greetings, discussions, and interpersonal relationships have two sides to them. One side is purely business and professional leaning, whereas the other side is reserved exclusively for close friends and family. While the Persian culture is slowly changing into a more progressive state, their social customs and greetings still reflect a conservative style. Typically, men greet men and women greet women, with the exception of family and close friends. When greeting each other, each sex will greet each other with 3 or 4 glancing kisses on each cheek. In public, business meetings, or with members of the opposite sex, people will greet each other with a simple handshake. In Iran, appearances are everything, and it is important that you dress nicely, show up on time, and even stay in a nice hotel. Men should dress conservatively in dark suits, and women should be dressed also conservatively and cover their head in a headscarf. This is to show respect for their culture and respect for the person that you are meeting. Typically, Persians like to only conduct business with people that they know, so they may request 2 meetings. The first meeting is to develop a connection with you, and the second is to conduct business. Much like in Western culture, punctuality is a virtue, and it is expected that you be on time, if not a little early. When entering the room, show respect by greeting those with seniority or a higher position first. Do not use first names. This is reserved exclusively for close friends and family members. Do not remove your jacket until you're invited to do so, and do not sit down until invited to. Many Persian businessmen and businesswomen may offer tea and biscuits at the beginning of every meeting, and you are expected to observe the tradition of tarof. Tarof is the practice of declining something offered until their insistence is increased. This is just a display of respect and manners, and it's often initial rejection of offered food or drinks is ignored or treated as a pleasantry. When ending the meeting, do not try to exchange your business card unless they initiate the trade-off. Unlike in the U.S., business cards are not exchanged very frequently. Only senior-level businessmen exchange cards. When passing your card, make sure to have one side of the card translated to Farsi, and when handing it to them, keep the Farsi translated side facing them. In personal meetings, such as with friends or family, tea is again offered, and you are once again expected to observe tarof. Another good thing to do is to take notice of if the host or hostess is wearing shoes. If they are not, remove your shoes and leave them either outside or just inside the door. Many Persian households like to keep their floors very neat as they own handmade woven carpets. Traditional Persian families do not entertain intersex parties, so take notice if your spouse or partner is invited to the party with you before you decide to bring them along. Show respect to the elders in this situation by greeting them first, and allow them to initiate the greeting first. Some may use the glancing kisses, whereas others stick to the handshakes. This allows them to use the greeting they are most comfortable with. If dining in this situation, observe table manners as you would in the States. Some parties may have a dining table set with food and dishes, whereas others may be more traditional and dine on the floor. This is not a sign of lower financial status, and is considered insulting if you refer to it as such. Food is observed banquet style, and there is often a lot of it. This is because Persians want to shower their guests in luxury and opulence to make them feel as welcome as possible. Once again, this is also because appearances are everything in Iran, and this is to make the guests think that the family eats like this way often. They also decorate the guest room in very expensive lavish furniture, usually in European styles, which you will be led to upon invitation from the host or hostess. In a dining situation, you will be offered seconds or thirds. Due to tarof, initial rejections will not be taken seriously, so if you genuinely do not want seconds, you must insist politely 2 or 3 times. You should also sample a little bit of everything, and if you cannot eat something due to being allergic or other medical reasons, let them know politely and compliment on how good said food looks. Also be sure to leave a little on your plate when you're done eating. This is to show that you had more than your fill. With this information, you are now ready to conduct business meetings and personal communications respectfully in Iran. You will be far more successful in your communication pursuits in Iran, and they will be appreciative of your efforts to integrate into and actively observe aspects of their culture.